Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on another session of the WeConnect Academy's Learning from Women Leaders Around the World series. My name is Sarah, and today I am very happy to introduce Tali Goldman, who will be leading today's webinar on how to develop and improve your networking skills. Tali is an entrepreneur, businesswoman, and mother, as well as the owner and managing director of Dagiz and Cufflinks Made for You. Dagiz designs and customizes innovative gift solutions for corporate and retail clients and serves as a wonderful platform for working parents to balance their career and family. Dagiz serves large multinationals, small and medium businesses, stores, and retail chains in Asia, America, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. So I will turn it over to Tali to introduce herself and today's topic, but I would like to remind that all attendees that you are in listen-only mode. This is not a live interactive webinar. So if you have any questions, please type them in the chat or Q&A boxes at any point in the webinar, and I will be reading them out loud once the webinar is complete. As a reminder, you can ask your questions towards the end, but like I said, you can also type your questions in at any point during the webinar. This is really a fantastic opportunity to learn as much as possible, so we very much encourage you to ask as many questions as you have. A last reminder that this recording will be available after today's session and will be emailed to all attendees. The webinar recording will also be available on our YouTube channel. So that's it. Thank you, Tali, so much for being here today, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here today with you as well and to share my experience. And I hope all of you will get a lot of value from this webinar. So what are we going to talk about today? So one slide about me, so you know who I am. Dagiz, the company that I run, to give you some of the context. Why networking is important for your success, and why do we have to overcome our barriers? On top is how to overcome those barriers and great platforms to network. And then we'll dive into the real work. It's what actually we do before the events, getting ready to the event, in the networking event itself, after the events, the follow-up that is very important. This is why I wrote as soon as possible. Some general rules and a plan. So let's start. So about me. So I'm Tali Goldman, and I'm a mother for two beautiful kids. You can see 7 and 11 years old. So this year we are 7-11 in the house. I'm the founder and managing director of Dagiz and Cufflinks Made for You. I have engineering background, a master in system engineering. There is nothing to do with what I do today. And I have another very big passion in my life. And this is why I open and manage this Facebook group that's called Personalized Food, the New Healing Wave. This is not a topic we're going to talk about today at all, just to share on a nutshell. From my experience and from family experience, we know now that there is no such a thing as healthy food. Each one of us have his own or hers healthy food. And I'm sharing a lot of information. So if it's something that you're interested, feel free to join in. I'll be more than happy. Last thing about myself, I'm trying to learn every day in different subjects. So to give you the context about the network event, I'll share about Dagiz. So Dagiz is my company. We design and we do designs and experiences that leave lasting impact. This is our story, and this is where I'll later connect it to the networking. So Dagiz, we've been operating for the last 7-8 years, but this year we've been recognized as a social organization that empower women and embrace families' values. So I'm very proud of it. I'm talking from Singapore. We are headquartered in Singapore. In order to expand our social impact, we collaborate with other social enterprises and manufacturers from all around the globe. Last thing that I'm very proud is that we are aligned with 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals, as stated by the United Nations, and you can see them on the right. So this is, I added this presentation, this slide, sorry, why to collaborate with Dagiz. Because when we network, we need to have our own story. Each one of us need to know what we are unique, why we are unique, and what is unique about us, about our company. So for example, for me, and all the presentation, I'll give a lot of examples from my life to elaborate and explain each one of the points I'm going to talk about. So for Dagiz, what we always say is, apart from the ideas, the innovative gift ideas and the creativity and the peace of mind that our clients have because of our high level of service and quality, what we always said is what's the values and what is the marketing message that our clients have. So for example, and I believe it even in my life, when I do the grocery shopping, when I buy soaps, I try to buy from other women owned business to support them. So of course in B2B, when you decide to take purchasing decision, it can make a big difference. So think about this, and there is a value. So it's not only about the gift, it's the value and the meaning behind the gift. And we always tell them, think about the marketing message for your audience, the way you're being perceived by your company, by others, your clients. It's a way for you to demonstrate your values to your clients, so they better appreciate your brand. So this is our story. We talk about what we do, the gift, and the story behind it, the value and the mission. Okay. So let's dive in. Why is networking important for your success? We all know that network is your net worth. And it's not only a phrase. Actually, there are experts that agree that the most connected people are often the most successful one. And this is why I'm talking today about networking. This is why I chose to bring it up. So why is important to your success? So first, invest in relationship. It's a lot of fun. It's important for the company, and it's very important. And it's very nice that it's fun as well. And I chose to put here only two pictures. The one on the left, you can see it's Nathan Wolf, the Mexican ambassador to Singapore. And on the right is Stephanie. She just left actually last month. We don't have here currently any ambassador to the US, so she's was acting as the ambassador in Singapore for the US. And the reason I put those pictures is just to show you the close relationship that I developed with them. And later on, I'll show you why it's so important and how each person in your life, actually, it's like a reaction chain. Okay? So network will help you to stay on top of trends. So for example, when I go to fairs, if you go to fairs, you know, what's the trends now? What's going on? You go to events, you hear, you see people, you understand what's going on now. It can help you, I believe, a lot to find clients. This is the main thing that we do networking. You can find partners. If you are looking to recruit special people, you might be able to find them, and even sometimes necessary resources that will foster your company growth. Why do we have to overcome our barriers? So we said till now why it's important, and I'm asking why do we need to do it? So the simple answer is just because we need to. If you're a company owner, the burn, is on your shoulders. Even if you have business development people to do it, you need to be there. It's your face, it's your company. Okay? As you network, you'll uncover opportunities, and you need to have this visibility. Okay? And because this is the sentence that I believe the most, like the phrase, when you grow, because you grow the most when you put yourself out of your comfort zone. I do it all the time, even though I do love networking, even in network, and I'll share with you later on what I do in order to put myself a bit out of my comfort zone in the networking. And for example, today you can all hear that English is not my mother tongue, and I still decided to do it. When I saw this opportunity, from one hand, it's not easy to speak 1 hour in English when it's not your mother tongue, and I have some words that coming up and I don't remember exactly how to say them. But I'm a bit nervous, but I'm doing it even though, because I will grow, I will learn, and I hope it will give you a lot of value, and this is why I'm doing it as well. And how to overcome those barriers. Okay, if you do have barriers and you don't feel that comfortable, so first do some self-talk. The words that we say to ourselves are so important. Those words actually create our future, our present. So you can always say to yourself, it's fun, I can do it, I will do it, I will enjoy it. Because if you say to yourself, you can make yourself nervous just by saying, oh, I feel nervous, I'm scared, what if? So those kind of thoughts and words that you say to yourself, you bring you down. So try to bring yourself up, always bring yourself up. Uh, Another point that always helped me is I believe and I always say that we're all the same. So I shared with you before that I have an engineering background, and when I was working before in other companies, in for example in aerospace and defense company in Israel, and you're one person in huge company, and sometimes I was meeting very senior people in the hierarchy much above you and sometimes below you, and I never felt embarrassed because I always believe we are all the same. We're all human beings. We have more or less the same needs. So always think the person in front of me doesn't mind if he's ambassador or not, whoever he is, if he's a CEO of a huge company, he's exactly like you. Feel comfortable to talk. And third thing, it's part of your work. This is how I see it. We have a company, you want to grow the company, you have to network. Your people need to network. This is part of work. And one thing that always helped me every time that I feel hard, and we all have those moments that they are not the best moments, and we need to remember why we started this company or why we do what we do. And for me, it's my kids. And when I think about my kids, there is nothing that can stop me. And each one of us need to remember why we chose to do what we do. Because when we remember why, we can do anything. So a platform for networking. I feel that you need to understand to make sure that you have value for your time. Okay, choose as per your target audience because there are endless of network opportunities if you look for them. Okay, but choose as per your target audience. For example, for me, because my company is in B2B business, a chamber of commerce in Singapore, I'm sure in your home country there is as well, but here we have the Singapore Chamber of Commerce, the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, the Australian, the UK, almost everything, almost all of them. So we choose, I look, I see, okay, those Chamber of Commerce, what are the events, who are the people that are coming? If they are relevant, I'll go. SMEs, we are small, medium enterprise, they have their own events. Over there, I'll go not so much for the networking for clients, but to find partnerships, people to collaborate with, and to learn. Okay. Diplomatic events for me is very important because those people, everybody goes to those diplomatic events. All the pictures that you see down, for example, this one is the Chinese ambassador and the Indian ambassador in Singapore and the Hungarian ambassador, and this one is from South America. I go to a lot of those networking because it gives visibility to my business. So it brings business to the business. Okay. Fairs, each one of you at her own field. I believe it's good to go to fairs around the world to know what's going on in the market. And of course, there are many other events. So just make sure that you're going to the right events so you don't waste your time. And now we're actually going to dive into the most important, how to network effectively. Okay, before the event, super important. Okay, I'm showing you with you all the mistakes that I did in the past. First, do some due diligence. Okay, what do I mean by due diligence? For example, I went to a networking of one of the events of the Chamber of Commerce. And I always look for who's the right people to talk to start because you don't have endless time and then the event starts and somebody is talking. And then when the speaker started to talk, I realized that I missed the most important person and I really wanted to talk to her because I didn't check before how she looks like and who should I talk to. So now, like last week or from that point forwards, I always read, and sometimes even I take pictures. Like for example, I know about the event, so I take picture in my phone, so I know exactly who are the people that I want to talk to first, so I don't miss them. Okay. A dress code. I always believe that it's better to be a dress up, overdress than underdress. Okay, overdress is very important because it needs to fit your marketing message. Okay, each one of in your company. So for example, we are classic and innovative and cool in the same time. So I'll always, the bags I'll share, the shoes, my hair, my dress, everything will be connected to the marketing message that I want to convey when I meet people. And we all know that the first few seconds are the most important of how people think about you, what they perceive. Okay. Temperature. So in Singapore, it's always hot. For sure, in your country, you probably we have always hot, but in your country because you have few seasons. Um, but even though I know that if I go and will be very strong aircon, I won't be able to talk. I'll be shivering. I won't be able to express myself. So I always make sure that if I'm going to a cold place, or for you, if you're going to mask something that is too hot, make sure that you're comfortable, because you need to be physically comfortable to network effectively. Okay? Shoes. Women, we love shoes, important shoes. So again, I'll share with you that a few months back, I went to France to an amazing ball, amazing event in a chateau, and I decided to wear a dress that was long. And I said, okay, I'll buy shoes with very, very high heels. It was a disaster. So the event was the most amazing, probably, that I ever saw till today. But I was so uncomfortable that it really took me down. Like eventually I just wanted to go. It was too painful, too uncomfortable. And when you network and you meet people and you need to feel comfortable. So shoes, important. Pen. Why is important? So why is pen important? You meet people, especially in network event, you meet a lot of people. And one of the events, lastly, that I went a few weeks back, I forgot a pen. And when I came back home, and I'll show with you later what you do after the events, and I wanted to write on the business cards, I didn't remember everyone. I didn't remember the names. Or for example, I met a team that the HR said, oh, we need GIF. It's amazing. We want to contact you, but I don't have my business cards. And then somebody else from her team had a business cards, but I didn't remember her name. So when I wanted to email them later, please contact, can you make the connection with, I couldn't say the name. So I had to say, with the HR or something. So it doesn't look so good. It's very important to take a pen with you. So if you need to write something, you have it on this one. Okay. Before the event, very important, have enough business cards. Again, stories. It happened to me. I went to a network. I always take with me business cards. And I remember thinking to myself, for sure, I took more than enough business cards. It was the, I think, UK Chamber of Commerce, and I spoke that evening with more than 50 people, and I finished all my business cards. And eventually, I didn't have business cards. So of course, we always have LinkedIn, and I contact immediately on LinkedIn. But then you need to wait for them to confirm it, and it's not the same for us. For example, business card is part of the process. When we come from networking events, we contact with all the people. It's very easy when you see them or if you write something about them. I highly suggest you take a business card and make sure that you have enough. Okay. So be ready how to start, what to say. It's very, very important. Okay. There are some people that feel very comfortable. For me, for example, I know more or less what I want to say to who. So I don't have a story in my mind, or I have it so good, as I shared with you before, that I don't need to get ready now. But in the beginning, yes. And in the first presentation, for sure I had to have my story. So you need to know, to think how I'm going to start a conversation. What should I say? And even here, I believe you need to have different scripts. Because, for example, for us, when I meet somebody from the HR, I'll talk about they probably will buy gifts for the employees. So I'll talk about gifts that connect to employees, to the company. Okay, I'll give her example of gifts that you did for employees. If I meet with somebody that is more from the marketing and sales, I'll give them different examples. Actually, in one of the last slides, I just gives I put it some pictures to show you kind of different gifts to explain better. But here, what I'm trying to say here, For each one of them, you have to have a different story. If you speak with somebody that is just a referral, it means that he's not the right person. He's not the right person for your business, but he knows somebody that he's happy to connect with. So again, here you need to have a different story. Here I'll talk more about the values and the marketing message and how it helps the local community to motivate him to really do it later on. If you speak with somebody from the CSR department, of course, over there, I'll emphasize about us being a social enterprise, helping, empowering women, helping the local community, embracing family values, okay? Because the most important, and I wrote it here and I wrote it later on, is to connect, okay? When you go, there are so many people. Always try to see how you connect with different people, because try to look for similarities. For example, and here I'll go back to the story of Nathan, the Mexican ambassador to Singapore. By the way, he left as well, unfortunately, because we became a very, very good friends. But for example, over there, one of my colleagues, she's Mexican, and she went to, without me, to a networking of her group of Mexican. And then she told me one of the days, I'm going to the Mexican ambassador home for a networking event. And I asked her, can I join you? Is it proper? Will it be proper? Can I join you? And she said, let me check. And she checked with the embassy, the Mexican embassy in Singapore, and they said, yes, she can come with him. And I came to his beautiful house. And I'm standing there, and a guy comes and speaks with me, and he say, hello, my name is Nathan. I didn't know he's the ambassador. And I say, and he asked me, who are you? What's your name? Where are you coming from? And those questions. And then we discovered very quickly that actually my family is from South America, so I speak Spanish. And then I speak Spanish, and he's Jewish and he speaks Hebrew because he was volunteering in Israel. And of course, I was born in Israel, so I know Hebrew as well. And I love people from Latin America. Probably in my blood, I don't know. I really love people. I love this energy. And I connected with him in a second. Like as soon as I saw him, I said to myself, we need to be friends. I love this. I love this person. I love his energy, and it was very easy to connect because we have so many similarities. This is an easy story, but you have so many. So when I connect with people, for example, I'll give you another story. So I shared with you that I have huge passion for a personalized food, for healthy food. I really believe that for us to be healthy, we need to eat healthy. Healthy is something that it's personalized. For example, egg could be an amazing protein for you, but not healthy for me. Okay. So in one of the networking events, I spoke with somebody that is working in a big bank in Singapore, which is a perfect contact for me. But the way we connected, his wife started a business of bringing organic food from Australia, and she have autoimmune disease. And of course, autoimmune disease starts because if you have autoimmune disease, you have a leaky gut. And then again, the personalized food, it's something that is very important because then you really need to know what's the food that is important, that is healthy for you. And I don't remember, I think she had skin issues as well. Of course, everything is connected to food. So I think I spoke with him about 20 minutes, and later I'll share that it's actually not good to talk too long with somebody because we need to be very efficient with the time. But I found myself speaking 20 minutes with this person, and later we WhatsApp each other, and we connected so well because I could find something that both of us are really interested in. And there is endless thing that you connect with. Okay, you can, where you're coming from, hobbies, many things. So just fight. Really, the most important is to connect. Smile. Most important. You already smile. People want to connect with you. Okay. So in the event, the most important thing in the event, one of the things I wrote, and you can see in the first picture on the right, if you take a business card, take a business card bag or business card holder, something, everything that we write, it's not only about the business bag, it's about your sugar. You need people look at you. And for us, for example, when they look at me, I know that they think, okay, this is the lady that's going to later on, she's the one who's responsible for the gifts. So this is my marketing message. The way I dress is very important. So for example, you see here the bags. We did it last year for Citibank, and I really love the design, and I think that is great for networking. So we did for us all the colors. So every time I go into a networking event, I have tick in different kind of color, and it works great. So just make sure that you know the accessories that you take with yourself or you put on yourself, make sure that they all combine with your marketing message. Always be early. When I'm late, I'm so upset with myself. Why it's important to be early? Because the speakers, if you want to go to networking event, will be always early. Because we don't always have enough time to speak with everyone. When you are early, you have more time. Actually, the most important people for this event will be early as well. Okay, and especially if you are the kind of person that is a bit more shy, be early. Okay, because it will give you the time to dive in, to feel more relaxed, to start talking with people before it becomes very crowded. Okay, mark targets. I found it very funny, but this is, I always do it. Okay, when I enter a network event from the beginning, I have targets. I look at the audience. For me, I look for the more senior people. I look at the age, the outfit. Of course, it's not 100% true, but most of the time, I'll go and speak with them first because probably they are more senior and they will be a good contact for me. Our smart targets. When I go with one of my colleagues, the Mexican, I showed you before, she told me once that I always mark the targets, the more handsome men over there. I speak with them, and then she left over with all the rest. But it's okay. We're supposed to enjoy as well. But mark your targets. So if you're in the B2B, is important. If you're in the B2C, and it's you need as many as possible, or see who can, make sure that you speak with the right people. Okay, take pictures, and this is why I put before slides, and here I show you the pictures. So if you see here, for example, this is an example on the left side, on the bottom, this is a networking that I register especially to speak with this lady, that she is the head of the HR of a huge company in Singapore, and they're not investment, insurance company. And she was one of the speakers. And when I saw that she's one of the speakers, I registered to this event. And as I told you, I came early and I went directly speaking with her. And because in the networking, of course, she didn't speak only with me. She spoke with many others. Yeah. So later, I want her to remember me. So I took this picture of both of us, and I told her later I'll send you an email for you to remember me. So I'm taking a picture, and it's really helpful. So it's helpful for you to connect later on, and it's very good for your social media because later you have picture to upload to your social media. Again, visibility. Okay. Now be very efficient with your time. We need to be very efficient with the time, and you have many tasks. So first, learn as much as you can about the person in front of you. And this is the part of connect that I told you before. I always try to understand if they have kids, what's the age of the kids, because kids is also talking about kids, something that we can connect to, even though it's not my company, but you connect on a personal base. Okay. So in order to connect, really connect, the person needs to know that he knows you and need to feel that you know him. So try to understand something about the person as much as you can. Okay. Not too long, but as much as you can. Learn about his or her needs. Here I'm talking about the company. And this is to connect to the previous slide when I said it depends if it's the HR, the salesperson, the CEO, the marketing. And why it's important to learn about the company needs is because later on, when we connect with them, we understand better what to say, what to talk about. Okay, it will help you to open the door later on. Okay, again, connect. Just connect. Smile. If you don't know, if you don't put, you don't find anything in common, just talk about a person. Talk about yourself. Event that happened this week in the world. Something. Okay. Okay, so you learned about the person. You learned about his or her needs of the company. You connected. Now it's time to move on. Before you move on, always set up the next step. Okay, what do I mean the next step? So always say, it was great meeting you. I'll drop you an email, or if we really connected, and in Singapore, and I know in your own country, WhatsApp is something that I really like to use less even emails. WhatsApp is very personal and very fast. So if I have his mobile number, I say, oh, I'll text you later on. By the way, those pictures I later send on WhatsApp as well, not only in the email. I'll meet you later. We'll meet for coffee, tea. So give a kind of a closure, okay? So you learned about him, you learned about the company, you connected, you set up, and now you need to know how to stop the conversation, because we want to be efficient and we want to connect with as many as possible. And I see sometimes people in the networking event, because they feel comfortable, so they hold 2 hours, they'll speak to 1 or 2 people. It may be very important if it's really important person and can make a big change, but probably you missed on many others. So you connected very good with 1 person or 2, but you missed on all the rest. So what I usually do in order to stop, and from my perspective, it's harder to stop the conversation than to start it. So to stop, I'll say something like, it was great meeting you. Looking forward to meeting you again. Let's talk to other people, or if we're in a group, it's sometimes easier. So, we're a networking event, so it's very natural that you slowly, if you see somebody coming towards you, you just start talking with him. So this is how you stop talking with this group. Just think about ways, or you just say thank you, it was great meeting you, and you move on. Okay. To share about putting yourself in uncomfortable zone. For example, for me, networking event, I said before that I'm going to share. I like to network, but sometimes, if I see, for example, a group of men really like to make like a circle, and 6 or 7 of them will talk to each other. For me, it's great opportunity to have 7 business cards at once and speak with many people instead of each one of them going separately. Sometimes it feels a bit uncomfortable, they're talking, me coming, I was saying, hi, nice to meet you all, it's a bit uncomfortable, but I always remind to myself, I always, remember about the self-talk, I always say to myself, I'm here to network. I'm going to do it because this is why I'm here for, I don't want to waste my time. So connect with as many as possible, and put yourself in uncomfort comfort zones. Okay. If you can, write something on the business card, because if you connect and speak with many people, you will forget later. Sometimes it's embarrassing, and of course, if people around you, to take the pen and write something. So sometimes I can either do it next to the person. I say, oh, I just write so I don't forget, or I go aside, I write something, and I go back to the area of where all people are. Okay. If it's something important to you to remember, just take the pen with you, as we said before, and write something on the business card to remember later on. And the most important, enjoy. Smile and enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy, if you're very stressed, we are energetic human beings. We sense each other, we feel each other. If you're stressed, you're not smiling, you're not open, people will see it, will feel less comfortable to talk to you. They will see the stress in you. Okay? So self-talk, say to yourself, I'm here to enjoy, and go and enjoy. Okay? After the event, very, very important, not less important. You make the connection, you make the effort to be there, you put your time. Now it's after the event. You have to write. So when I go home, even if it's very tiring and I'm late at night, I want to sleep. Before I go to sleep, I write something on the business cards. Because if you wait for the morning, I promise you, you'll forget a lot of things. Okay, so you have a business card, or you didn't take a business card, you have a notebook of just write about the people you met. Okay, upload to social media if you have energy. I always try in the same evening to write something about in the social media. So we are always, I'll put in Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I'll usually let my team do it in the next day. But I start doing something in the first night, because remember, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Okay, it gives you a lot. The social media gives you a lot of visibility in the B2B and the B2C business, of course. Okay, follow up as soon as possible. So I said, okay, we wrote something on the business card. We upload to the social media. My mentor told me once that even at the evening before I go to sleep, start emailing to everyone. And the reason he said email to everyone, because in the morning when they wake up, you'll be the first time in the email. They won't miss your email. If you can do it, if you have the energy, when you come at night, do the emails. If not, try to do it first thing in the morning. For sure, not the next day. So if we had a networking tonight, tomorrow, for sure I'll send emails to all of them. If it's not me, it will be my team. okay? But always email. LinkedIn. So you met somebody, go on LinkedIn, connect with them. You already have a good connection. Email them. As I said before, I really like WhatsApp. WhatsApp is very personal. People usually cannot answer your email, but WhatsApp, it's very hard not to answer because, you know, it's always there till you answer it or you open it, okay? Don't forget, so for me, the most important is that my target is meeting, okay? So you did all this effort, you dress up, you put your time, you put your money, if it's networking events that you have to pay, you put yourself up there, you spoke with people, you connected. But what is the bottom line? Why do we do it? Because we want, if it's in the B2B business, we want the meeting, okay? Because the meeting is what will later on open the door for us. If it's in the B2C, maybe you need to make sure that they subscribe to something or you connect with them later on. For me, the most important, the target is meeting. So remember why you do everything in order to have the meeting in the end. So make sure to do those emails. In those emails, by the way, I always put the pictures. So if I took a picture with somebody, I write, it was great meeting you. Make sure your emails are effectively written as well. It means that it was great meeting you at this event because they might, you know, went to a few events. When can we meet up? Always offer a day with a time, usually two, you know, so 2 dates with two, you know, offer 2 time slots. So he can always come back to you and say, yes, instead of like, will be great to meet with you. So it can, you know, if you write to somebody, it will be great meeting you later on. So you might never get the meeting. So be on the spot and make sure that you have the meeting after you did so much effort. Okay. And this is to share with you all those companies that you see here are and were our clients till today. And this is all only from networking and word of mouth because I never did any marketing on marketing, you know, paid marketing, never. It's only by networking and word of mouth. So it's successful, and go and do it, and you can see that there is big companies there and event organizers and all of them. It's only networking. So go put yourself out there. Okay. So some general rules. For our company, for me, I say minimum is 2 networking events in a month. Okay. Plan the year ahead. You have holiday, you know, for in Singapore, we celebrate Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, Deepavali, Christmas, everything. So you know what, the events are coming and the events are coming accordingly on the first that you want to go worldwide. So plan for months in advance. I like to do it. And of course, make sure that you get a good value of your time. It happens to me that I go to a networking event and it's not the right audience for me. And I feel very bad because, you know, in this time I could put my kids to sleep, I could be with my kids, I could do something that is much more effective. So there are endless, as I said before, endless network competently. Just make sure that you choose the right one. And when you choose the right one, put yourself there. Okay. This is the last slide before I'll go to questions. And this is, as I said before, I wanted to share with you to put everything in a context. So you did the networking and you connected and you wrote an email. And for us, for the first meeting, when we come and meet the clients, the first time we always give a gifts. And the reason that we give a gifts is exactly the same reason that the companies give a gift to us, because they want to be remembered, exactly as I want to be remembered when they meet me. Okay. And there is a second reason. It's a influence method called reciprocity. I'm sure you know about reciprocity. When you give something to somebody, they will feel obligated to give you something back. So always give something small, and it really depends on your budget. And it's really important, what is your marketing message? Everything needs to be connected. Okay. So I'll give you some example here. Of course, I don't know what are your companies and what connects for you. But for example, if you are into eco-friendly, you see here many things that are eco-friendly. Eco-friendly, for example, for Marina Bay Sands, this is a gift we did for them. So they're into eco-friendly solutions. So it's recycled paper and a cork sleeve. If you do notebook, for example, you decided that you want to give notebooks. I always believe that even if you give notebooks, the problem with notebooks that they will throw later on. So your logo is there, you put money and they throw it. So for example, these kind of notebooks have the cover that always stays and you just change the internal part of the notebook. It's something good. Here, for example, you see Thales, it's aerospace and defense company. Their marketing message is that we are a techie company. So they choose accordingly. Okay. You see here, for example, 3-in-1 cable. I saw that this is a very well received gift and many choose it. For example, for Chinese New Year this year, Dagiz, we gave to all our clients 3-in-1 cable and it was very well received. If you're more the fun and for example, it doesn't cost that much money, but you do have to have quantities. This is, for example, David and Goliath, the Bible story we did for one of the big churches because they wanted to do something fun for kids. Okay. A fun story here, for example, this is, for example, you see here, this is the keychain, have the skyline of Bangkok. So this is a company, a networking, not networking event company that wanted to have 2 days event and they wanted to make sure that people come for the second day. So they had a second day gift that was the second part of the keychain. There are many things that you can twist. For example, for us, we went for an event that we've been offered to share our gifts, and we wanted to give something small to everyone that came to our booth. And what we decided to give, you can see here, those are kind of notebooks. It's a metal notebooks, and those are done by other social enterprise. So for us, it's very important to showcase that we do gifts that are from other social enterprise as well to extend our social impact. Okay. If we have a few more, I think we have like 1 or 2 more minutes. So for example, if you are more in the retro, you have those kind of retro gifts. This is travel pouch for people that travels. It really depends what your company, if you have low budget, you can even do something very good and very useful and functional like a phone holder, as you saw that PayPal did. Maybe one of last thing that I'm going to share. This is, for example, you see here that I'm putting, this is a metal art pieces. It can be a metal souvenir as on the left, that a oil and gas company, Gazprom, it's the biggest oil and gas company in Russia, which you know it's big company, a big country, and they did it for all the clients. And their marketing message, and this is the reason I choose to put this picture, is their marketing message is we bring life to city. Okay, when you want to say I bring life to city, so you see pipelines coming from the soil, the flowers, the flame that comes from the logo, and the Russian skyline behind. So it's 2 layers. So this is something that conveyed their marketing message. The one on the left side, for example, this is for Marina Bay Sands, a big hotel chain, and they wanted to buy something small. This one actually was a small souvenir for their clients that are people that coming from all over the world. Okay, so okay, one more thing that I need to share because I love it. People, this is something it's very important. People really like to have personalized things. Okay, this is something I noticed. If you put something, and I do it myself as well, when I meet people that are like key people, very important for us, I'll do, for example, for men, I do cufflinks and I grave their name. For women, for example, I don't have the picture here, but I met with somebody that was a key person for us to enter a company, and I knew that she loved golf, so I did a golf accessory with her name personalized on it. Okay, you can always think things that are personalized and more personal touch. Okay, so I'm so on time. I see 44 minutes and 15 seconds. You should be proud of me that I made it on time. Please feel free to contact me. You see here my email, all the social media. If you have any question, I'm more than happy to help. If you, I'll answer question now, but later on, if you have any question and you want to email me or text me to my WhatsApp, you see my number there. If you want to ask me question about my other passion about personalized food, join the group, ask me any question you want. I'm very happy to help others. So hope you enjoyed. I really hope that this webinar gave you the value that I hoped it will give you. And if you are a bit, you don't feel comfortable with networking, it changed your mindset. So thank you very much for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tali. This was fantastic. I loved being able to hear all of your insight and really appreciate all of your expertise and your experience coming into this webinar. It's very, very helpful. So as I mentioned before, we will now be taking questions. So if you have any questions that you had for Tali throughout the webinar, please type them into the Q&A box and send through. I already have a couple questions, so I'll start with that. But as I'm reading these out, like I said, please everyone ask as many questions as you can. Obviously, Tali has had a lot of experience, and it's always really great to kind of learn from others and take advantage of this opportunity. So as people are typing in their other questions, I will start with the first couple we have in, Tali. So the first one we have says, there are so many events. How do you prioritize which are worth your time and money, especially as an entrepreneur who is low on resources and low on time?
Okay, this is a very good one. I always ask myself the same question. First, low on money. There are many networking events that you don't have to pay. Even today, one of my team came and said, there is a networking event. It costs $130. And I asked her, first, where the people are coming? What will be the audience of this event? Are we can really networking with them? So for me, I decided the value for money is not there. Okay. So really think about, check who are the audience. I always ask if I need to pay for an event, I always ask who are the people that are going to come to understand better if if there are opportunities for us or not. Okay. And if you pay, make sure that you get the value for your money because you have the context that you needed. So you are very short with resources. Try to look for the networking events that are that you don't have to pay or they are not expensive. One of the things that I did as well, for example, here for the American Chamber of Commerce, you need to pay a yearly fee of, I don't know, hundreds of dollars. And I don't want to pay it because for me, I prefer every time to go to a different community, let's say, or different Chamber of Commerce. So I told them, look, let me come once with my team for free. So I see who are the audience and I see if it's relevant, if it really makes sense for us to pay. And they actually let us, they show us the calendar, the events they are going to have this year. We chose an event and we came. And to be honest, it was not worth paying. What I do, for example, I never become any, I didn't pay for any membership. For example, I go for a lot of the events of the Singapore Chamber of Commerce, and they want more than $1,000 to be a membership, to be a member. So what I prefer to do is just pay per event. So instead of, for example, $20 or $40, I pay probably 40 or 80, depends which kind of event. I pay the double, but then I don't pay this. It's only for one event that I know that is important. I checked in advance who are the people that are coming, and I make sure that the value for money is there. That's it.
Great, thank you. And actually, I think you touched on another question that we have specifically about attendees. And so I don't know if you want to go into it a little bit more, but one of the other questions someone has was, how do you actually find the information about who's attending events? They said, oftentimes I try to do what you call due diligence, but they don't publish the lists ahead of time, and then I come in not knowing what to do.
Yeah, when it happens, I always call the organizer or I email them and I ask, and I actually tell them I really need to understand who are the audience that are coming, so I'll see if it's relevant for us. If it's an event that you see there are speakers, so by the speaker I choose, like for example, the picture that I shared before with the lady from the HR, the manager of the HR. So I knew that she's going to be there, and I knew that there are some probably other HR. So it was good enough for me to pay the 40 something dollar that I've been asked to pay. But I always ask before. So you don't spend your time and money. They don't really advertise, but the people that that organize the events know who is coming. So you can share with them, just let me know who is coming, and just pick the phone and call.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, and then we have another one about, oh, this is an interesting one. What advice do you have for going from person to person without seeming rude? For example, what if I've been waiting to talk to someone all day and they suddenly become available, but I'm presently talking to someone? How do I leave the conversation I'm having without seeming rude?
Yeah, it always happens to me. It's very common. It always happened to us. Yeah. So first, this is why I always I'll try to go first to the people that I really want to target before I start to talk with other. But as you shared, it happens that they are talking, so I don't want to waste my time. So I'll start talking as well. So I always keep an eye. It's very funny, but this is what I do. I always keep an eye on the person that I want to talk to see when will he stop talking. And sometimes okay, I'm talking with someone, so I try to shorten it and I'll say, it was so great meeting you. Let's continue later on. Or if it's really, really important, I can say, I really want to speak with this. I need to speak with him, or we said that we're going to talk later on. So let me get back to you in a few minutes. Um or let's meet later on for a coffee. So it's important, because if you continue talking with a person only because you feel uncomfortable, you're missing something that is bigger and important. Okay, so never be rude, but there is only, we're all people. He will understand. You can say, so try to shorten it. You say it, say, it was great meeting you. Let me come back to you later on. I just need to, I need to have a word with this person. Or let's meet for a coffee and continue the conversation. Or something like this. It's just be. I always feel that if you are very natural, you're very honest, people like it and they feel the same.
Great. Yep, that is something that I think we have all experienced. So thank you for the insight on that. Another actually question that's similar.
We don't hear you. Is everything okay?
In the sense of how do you be? Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. I didn't hear you for a minute.
Now you can hear me? Oh,
Yes,
okay. Sorry about that, but you can hear me now?
yes,
Perfect.
perfectly.
Okay.
Great.
So, perfect. So I was mentioning that we actually have another question that is sort of in the similar line, in the sense of how do you make sure you're not being rude, but you're still taking advantage of your opportunities. So this person says, what about clingers? What I mean by this is oftentimes in networking events, if I'm feeling very confident, I may have people or befriend people who are a bit more shy and want to stay with me, but I feel bad leaving them. How do I detach myself without seeming rude?
Mm. Okay. So one of the other things that we do, another strategy, is that I try many times to come with at least one colleague with me. So we both understand each other. So if I'm talking with some people, she will talk with the rest, so we don't miss each other. So
Mm,
if it happens, come with another person that will do the talk. So from your company. Second, and it happened to me, is, for example, I have a friend that she feel a bit less comfortable. So I just try to bring her to the conversation, and later on she will continue by herself. Uh, uh, I'm trying to think, if it happens with somebody standing with me, I'll tell her. So I'll act exactly as I did before. Like, if they be alone, so I just introduce her. I'll speak whatever I'm supposed to speak. If I need to introduce her or her company, I'll do it as well, and then I'll continue and move to the next person. So it's more like teaching her what should be done. So you act as you always will do. Um, we can make for example, you can introduce her to someone and then just move on. You understand? For example, let's say her business is a different business and she's just coming next to you. So you meet your three people talking together. You make the introduction with her. You let them continue. As soon as they start talking, you say, it was great. I'll continue. I'll move on. Great meeting you. Let's move on. So just prepare to this situation and be very natural and honest, because you are there in order. We all in network know that we come to network. Yeah. So we all understand each other when we continue and we want to move on. So if you go with a friend that or somebody that is next to you, So you can tell her, you can prepare in advance as we do with kids, yeah? I'll try to talk with as many as possible. I'm happy to introduce you. So feel free to continue later on by yourself or stay next to me, but I'll continue do the networking. Okay?
Great. Thank you. And just a reminder, everyone, we only have 5 more minutes. So if anyone has any more questions, please, please, please put them in the question box. I do have one other last question here for you, Tali. This is in regards to social media. So you mentioned LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of those things can be very helpful after the event. But during the night of or live at the event, oftentimes people will be tagging people in photos, using hashtags. So I think this person is asking, what type of social media do you recommend to take pictures and tag people at the actual events? Is there a platform that works best for this?
So for me, as I said before, I feel that Instagram is more about picture and more personalized. So I'll write something like I'll take pictures and tag people and make it very personalized as I'm talking with a friend, and very similar to Facebook. So Twitter goes directly to Facebook, yeah. But when it's something that is more to LinkedIn, or Twitter, this is where usually I let my team, so they know exactly, they have the pictures, they know what I wrote, and they will take and make a twist of it to make it a bit more formal, a bit more B2B, not like as a friendly, a bit more B2B. In the event itself, usually I don't do it on the event itself because I'm very focused on meeting the people, like I'm target oriented. I want to talk to people. So I don't want to waste time. And it's not, I think it's a bit, this may be a bit rude to, being in a network event and looking at your phone and starting to do some social media. So what I actually like to do is be there, connect with the people, and later on I'll do Twitter and Facebook most of the time in the same evening. And as I said, Twitter and LinkedIn, my team will do later on with something, even similar pictures or more information. Um, that's it, I think.
Yeah, great. Awesome. And then I have just actually, someone just commented, more of a comment than a question, but someone said, totally agree. I do social media for events at my company, and we're always looking for people to use the event hashtag and tag for, what is that? For different posts throughout the day and later. So if you can use those hashtags as well when you post, you'll have a better chance of getting reposted and retagged.
Yeah.
So that was a comment from someone from, where is that? Oh, I can't tell where she's from, but that's just one comment from someone. Should they say thanks?
Yeah, it's a very, very smart one. And thank you for talking about it, because I didn't talk about this, that how to write and always hashtag. And if there are people that are there, make sure that you actually do the ads so they know that you're talking about them, tag them as many, for me, for example, I write hashtag, the name of the company and woman, empowering women and everything, and the subject of the event and everything as much as possible, so you'll be later on have the visibility. This is something that is very important. Not only upload your pictures and say something, hashtag as well.
Great. And we have just a couple thank yous. Thank you for the great webinar. Much appreciated the tips. Jenny Sit from Jancinta from Holland. We have another couple saying thank you. Very interesting. So yeah, and I think actually that brings us to the end of the day. So thank you so much, everyone, for your insightful questions. Tali, thank you so much again for all of your advice and your experience and your expertise. This has been very helpful, I think, for me as well. This is something that networking is constantly a growing and learning experience. So we very much appreciate everything that you had to offer. So I would just let everyone know here at the webinar, again, if you would like to get a hold of Tali, her information is on the screen. Please reach out to her, as she mentioned. As a reminder, this webinar, or the recording of this webinar, will be sent over to you by tomorrow. This will also be available on our YouTube channel. So With that, I will let everyone go because we are at 8 a.m. Tali, thank you again. Thank you everyone to join, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.